Hi, my name is Emily Cartwright, and this is Culinary 1200, Intro to Breakfast and Lunch Cooking. And today we'll be making buttermilk biscuits. Here are mise en place of flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, and soda, butter, and buttermilk. We're going to jump right into it by measuring out 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So here I scoop out a big amount and I'm just leveling it so we're getting exactly the amount that we need and not getting too much of one ingredient. So I'm going to speed through the rest of measuring for the flour, which is the 2.5 cups. And after measuring out the flour, we're going to jump in by measuring the salt, which is 1 teaspoon. Now after the salt and leveling it, we're going to measure our baking soda. Now the baking soda is going to be 1 teaspoon, which is also going to be leveled off. Now with the baking powder of 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon, there is a leveler mixed in here. So here we are, we're just going to push it up against the side, and we're just going to level it. There we go. And we're going to measure out 2 teaspoons of sugar. Now we're going to go into our wet ingredients of 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Trying to get right on the mark here. And then 5 ounces of cold unsalted butter. Now when we prep the butter, we're going to go ahead and just cut it into tiny little cubes. Now we want to be careful not to touch it too much or not to squeeze it because we want it to keep it cold. So after prepping it, we're going to throw it back in the fridge until we use it. Now while this butter is cooling in the fridge, we're going to go ahead and sift all of our dry ingredients together. Now after all sifted, we're going to add in our butter. We're just going to cut it in. We're just going to break it apart with our hands until it starts to resemble sand. That's just because chunks of butter covered in flour, so it's nice leavener pockets. Now here we're just going to pour in our 1.5 cups of buttermilk, and we're just going to mix it until it's combined. We're not going to overwork it when not trying to keep this a dense biscuit. So after combining this, we're going to turn it over on a floured surface. And then we're going to knead it lightly. Again, we don't want to overwork it, so we want to keep the movements and the kneading minimum. Here we go with the kneading, and then we're just gonna roll it out into 1/2 inch. Now I did turn it 90 degrees each time I rolled it out, just so I got that even layer. Now here we're gonna cut out our biscuits. You see how I'm not twisting it? We want to keep it so they can let out air off to the sides. We don't want to ruin it. So here we're just going to cut out about 1.5 dozen worths of biscuit, and we're just going to pack it together on a prepped cookie sheet. And that's going to be parchment paper sprayed with oil, and then we're going to butter the top of these biscuits. Now after baking these, it's a nice golden top and it's nice and fluffy. It had an amazing flavor and a nice aroma. It had a smooth butter taste, and paired with a previous fruit sauce we made, it was delicious.